NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
She thinks we're all animals and that she's helping us.
Yeah.
With jam and honey.
I am so excited because one of my closest friends is coming over to help me cook today. Shit, what's her name? Line?
I would do way less salt than that. Let me just do it, Jen.
It's Marcy.
Whatever.
So how was your audition?
The show was canceled by the time I got there.
Well, we don't need you to work anyway because I'm able to find this.
What happened to your ring?
I gave it to the working people.
We're the working people.
The backsplash?
Oh, right.
Do you love it? Real solid gold inlay.
You spent $75,000 on backsplash?
We spent $100,000.
Oh.
Hello all. Sorry we're late. Our flight was delayed.
It was Mint, though. Tell them we were in Mint.
They gave you a mint. How lovely. I have some gum in my purse if you'd like.
Oh, we were in Mint. It's like their business class. It's really nice. And
Meghan, I'm begging you to stop now.
The relentless mockery targeting Prince Harry and Meghan Markle reached a crescendo when mainstream comedy programs like Family Guy and South Park began integrating brutal satire about the couple into their shows. What started as subtle jabs evolved into full-scale comedic takedowns, using the Sussexes' contradictions, publicly demanding privacy while producing lucrative media content, as fuel for increasingly vicious punchlines. Social media acted as an accelerant, with clips of jokes comparing them to historical villains spreading rapidly across platforms, transforming isolated comedy bits into inescapable cultural narratives that reshaped public perception. Behind the scenes, panic set in as Meghan's PR team scrambled to contain the damage to their branding partnerships and reputation, recognizing how the laughter wasn't just mocking them, but fundamentally altering their position in the public imagination. Comedians like Chris Rock and late-night hosts seized on these opportunities, crafting material that targeted the couple's perceived hypocrisy with clinical precision. Rock's Netflix special, for instance, questioned Meghan's allegations of racism against the royal family, framing her not as a victim but as someone naive to the realities of royal life. This shift in tone gave other comedians the green light to follow suit, leading to a cascade of jokes that stripped away the couple's complexity and reduced them to caricatures. Streaming platforms found themselves caught between honoring contracts with the Sussexes and capitalizing on their popularity as comedy fodder. Award show roasts and viral memes cemented their status as pop culture piñatas, with each new joke stripping away another layer of their carefully constructed image until they became reduced to one-dimensional punchlines rather than complex public figures. The entertainment industry's collective decision to treat them as fair game marked a definitive shift. The moment satire stopped merely observing their story and began actively rewriting it in the public consciousness through sheer repetition and amplification across media channels and digital platforms. Their crisis response proved ineffective against this form of mockery, highlighting how traditional PR strategies falter when facing internet-enabled comedy that bypasses institutional gatekeepers to connect directly with audiences. Where scandals might have been managed and serious critiques rebutted, the infectious nature of humor made the jokes resistant to counter-narratives, embedding them in cultural memory through relentless sharing and remixing. This phenomenon revealed the dark side of their transition from royalty to celebrity. Losing control of their narrative once comedy distilled their complexities into easily digestible caricatures that audiences consumed enthusiastically without seeking nuance or balance. The lasting impact extended beyond reputation, affecting business ventures and partnerships as brands grew wary of associating with figures who triggered such polarized reactions. This demonstrated how entertainment value and commercial viability had become inextricably linked in the digital age, where virality often overwhelms substance. Harry and Meghan's experience serves as a cautionary tale about the power dynamics between modern celebrity and comedy, where the ability to laugh at someone can become society's ultimate judgment, regardless of facts or context, reducing once influential figures to one-note jokes in the collective consciousness. Their struggle to escape this comedic framing highlights the entertainment industry's evolving role not just as commentator, but as an active participant in shaping public figures' legacies through the weaponization of laughter and the democratization of mockery via social media platforms. As the couple attempted to navigate this new landscape, they found themselves increasingly isolated, their previous allies hesitant to engage publicly for fear of backlash. The very platforms that once celebrated their story now amplified the ridicule, creating a feedback loop that further entrenched their status as targets of humor. In this environment, every public appearance, every statement, and every new project became fodder for comedians and social media users alike, who eagerly dissected their every move. The couple's attempts to reclaim their narrative through various media ventures, documentaries, podcasts, and memoirs, were met with skepticism and derision, as audiences began to view them through the lens of the jokes that had proliferated. The irony of their situation was palpable. The more they sought to control their image, the more they became caricatures of themselves, trapped in a cycle of mockery that seemed inescapable. As the public's perception shifted, the Sussexes faced a daunting challenge: how to re-establish their credibility and authenticity in a landscape where they had become synonymous with punchlines. The laughter that once served as a coping mechanism for their struggles now threatened to overshadow their genuine efforts to advocate for important causes. The couple's journey from royal figures to cultural icons had taken a turn that few could have anticipated, and the consequences of that transformation were far-reaching. Ultimately, the question remained: could Harry and Meghan ever reclaim their narrative, or had comedy permanently altered the way the world viewed them? The stakes were high, and the path forward was fraught with uncertainty. As they navigated this complex terrain, the couple had to confront not only the external perceptions shaped by comedy, but also the internal dynamics of their relationship and their shared mission. The laughter, once a source of solace, had become a formidable adversary, and the couple's ability to adapt and respond would determine their future in a world that had turned their lives into a spectacle. The cultural shift surrounding Harry and Meghan was not merely a reflection of their personal choices, but also indicative of broader societal trends. In an age where social media amplifies every misstep and every joke, the line between public and private life has blurred, leaving individuals vulnerable to the whims of public opinion. The Sussexes, once seen as modern-day royals breaking free from tradition, now found themselves ensnared in a web of satire that questioned their motives and authenticity. The very platforms that had once provided them a voice now served as the stage for their ridicule, illustrating the precarious nature of fame in the digital era. As the couple grappled with their new reality, they faced the challenge of redefining their identity in a landscape that had shifted beneath their feet. The laughter that once offered a sense of community and understanding now felt like a relentless tide, eroding their credibility and undermining their efforts to advocate for meaningful change. The irony was not lost on them. They had sought to escape the constraints of royal life, only to find themselves trapped in a different kind of cage, one built from public perception and comedic critique. In the face of this adversity, Harry and Meghan had to make strategic decisions about how to engage with the media and the public. Their attempts to pivot towards more positive narratives were often met with skepticism, as audiences remained entrenched in the comedic framing that had taken hold. The couple's efforts to promote their charitable initiatives and personal projects were overshadowed by the jokes that had become synonymous with their names, creating a dissonance between their intentions and public reception. As they navigated this complex landscape, the Sussexes had to confront the reality that their story was no longer solely theirs to tell. The narratives surrounding them had been co-opted by comedians, social media influencers, and the public at large, each contributing to a collective understanding that often diverged from their lived experiences. This shift in narrative power posed a significant challenge, as the couple sought to reclaim agency over their story while contending with the pervasive influence of comedy and satire. The consequences of this cultural shift extended beyond personal reputations. They had implications for the broader discourse surrounding celebrity, media, and public perception. The Sussexes' experience served as a case study in the complexities of modern fame, illustrating how quickly public sentiment can turn and how difficult it is to navigate a landscape where laughter can become a weapon. As they faced the challenges ahead, Harry and Meghan had to grapple with the reality that their journey was now intertwined with the very forces they had sought to escape. forcing them to reconsider their approach to public engagement and the narratives they wished to cultivate. In the end, the question of whether Harry and Meghan could reclaim their narrative remained open. The laughter that had once provided a sense of connection now felt like a barrier, and the couple's ability to adapt and respond to this new reality would determine their future in a world that had turned their lives into a spectacle. As they continued to navigate the complexities of their public personas, the Sussexes faced the daunting task of redefining their identity in a landscape shaped by comedy, satire, and the ever-evolving dynamics of public perception. The stakes were high, and the path forward was fraught with uncertainty, but one thing was clear. The power of laughter had irrevocably changed the way the world viewed them, and the journey to reclaim their narrative would be anything but easy.